Tonight on the South Today, a loud and fun annual event on Dunedin roads returns after a 3-year COVID hiatus. Blue and red flashing lights turn rainbow in Queenstown as police join in the Pride Week festivities. And ploughmen from across the south head to Middlemarch to tear up some paddocks. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Hannah Wilkins. Dunedin children with special needs spent a phenomenal day as Lords of the Road, thanks to the generosity of truckies from across the country. Special Rigs for Special Kids founder and organiser Greg Inch says yesterday's event was a huge success.
Residents and staff of Queen Rose Retirement Home among the many Dunedin people cheering on the city's Special Rigs for Special Kids, riders and drivers. It's been 3 years since it was last held due to COVID-19. However, more than 200 trucks and drivers turned up yesterday, greatly pleasing the event's founder, Greg Inch.
It happened. That's like we've gone through 3 years since we've done the event, and the industry said, you put it on, we'll support it, but we just couldn't, and now today we have, and it's been great.
About 200 children took part, while whānau and caregivers were at the Edgar Centre, ready for the end of circuit party. The convoy left from the Edgar Centre to Kaikarai Valley Road, via Kistofan, then over 3 Mile Hill, through Mosgiel, Green Island and back again through Kistofan. Inch says there are many unsung heroes of the event.
That have provide all the food for the barbecue and all the other logistics we have, and I just want to thank them so much because it is hard times, and yeah, they go out of their way for us.
He says the day has grown from being essentially just for Dunedin children, now welcoming people from across most of the South Island, all of whom enjoying a great day out. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A woman was held at gunpoint and forced to unlock the safe of a bar in Mosgiel on Friday night. The bartender was the only one working when 2 masked men entered Crofter's bar about 11 p.m. They pointed a gun at her and told her to hand over all the money, including what was held in the safe. About 20 customers were at the premises at the time, but many were outdoors and unaware of the situation. Queenstown's police station has taken another step in support for this week's Winter Pride Festival. In past years, the station displayed a rainbow patterned flag, but this year the building is being coloured with rainbow lighting.
Lit up in the rainbow colours of Queenstown's Winter Pride Festival. In past years, the local police have decorated their building with a rainbow flag. But this year, the police station's become the first in New Zealand to be lit up as a show of support for the rainbow community.
We got the go-ahead and we decided to do it, and it looks really cool and we're really pleased with ourselves.
Festival organiser Martin King says the move is a positive one, and he says support from the police has the potential to change lives.
It sets a standard for other people to go, if the police can do it, you know, we probably should be having to think about it too. So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And building bridges with the LGBTQIA+ community is an objective by police across the country.
We're progressively building better and better relationships with the rainbow communities throughout the country, and it's just a work in progress. We're just getting better as time goes on. So.
The Winter Pride Festival is set to run until Sunday. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Singers in the Otago Daily Times Southern Aria competition were in fine voice on Saturday evening. The event was won by Alfred Whanoti Fuamaono. He was one of 8 hopefuls performing in front of an audience, and judges Dame Kiri Takanawa and Patrick Power at the Glenroy Auditorium. He said he had won other singing competitions, but this one ranked as the most prestigious so far. Ploughmen from across the south converged onto Middlemarch over the weekend, vying to make the perfect crown. This year's event was also hosted additional competitions for the Tokomerero and Tairi clubs because the ground conditions were too wet on their home paddocks.
Getting the furrow just right. A group of ploughmen competed against each other near Middlemarch over the weekend. Semi-retired diesel mechanic Dale Truscott has been bitten by the bug, competing with his 1940s Massey Ferguson farm tractor he picked up for less than $1,500.
Just the older the tractor the better, and I just like something that looks like just come out of a shed. The ploughs are all over 100 years old nearly, all horse-drawn ploughs, been modified.
He's still a novice but knows what's required, with the ploughmen being judged on their crown.
So it's more technical than what you think to do. It's just all to do with your neatness and your positioning and your and the heights, but I'm very much in a learning stage still. I haven't been doing it that long.
3 regional competitions were hosted at Middlemarch over the weekend, with the soil at Tokomariro and Tairi being too wet for ploughing this year.
We're nearly up to 23 or 24 ploughmen tomorrow, which is probably going to be the biggest turnout for any ploughing match in Otago Southland this year.
The event concluded on Sunday with Clydesdale horses showing how it was done 100 years ago. Near Middlemarch, the South Today.
Whai Yakane, still to come on the South Today. Green-thumbed locals in central Otago come up trumps at the country's biggest landscaping awards. And the annual Great Naseby Water Race Ultra Marathon pushes some people to the limits for up to 80 hours.
Great Britain has a collection of varied landscapes and countryside to rival anywhere else in the world. And the best way to see it is to walk.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Oh mate, I'm thinking about getting a new ute.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Earth is a planet of extremes. Extreme places and extreme animals. But some animals are more extreme than others. Join us as we count down to find the most unusual, the most extraordinary, the most extreme.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. 2 Central Otago gardens have been named winners at the New Zealand Landscapes of Distinction Awards. A garden overlooking Lake Whakatipu won Saturday's top award. Created by a Christchurch landscaping business called Green Therapy, the sustainable project includes 98% native planting. Judges praised the garden's strong connection to the wider environment. A landscaping business in Arrowtown called Kate Campbell Gardens also won one of the elite awards for work on a Lake Hayes property. The garden is formed around 3 apartments and makes use of elm trees. The annual Great Naseby Water Race ultramarathon finished on Saturday with 11 participants competing in the 200-mile or 322-kilometre race. 9 finished the course, with the first runner home getting there in just over 40 hours, while the last to finish took more than 80 hours.
For some, the thought of running more than 300 kilometres would be enough to bring on a dizzy spell. However, over the weekend, 11 competitors took part in a 200-mile or 322-kilometre race in central Otago, around a 10-kilometre course.
Started at 8 o'clock Wednesday morning and they've got till Saturday 6 o'clock to finish, so they can sleep whenever they like and they can run whenever they like. There's no restrictions as long as they do it within that time frame.
Race organiser Jill Wolfe took over running the event recently. She says those taking part in the 200-mile event complete 32 laps of a 10-kilometre figure-8 course, passing the central first aid station every 5 kilometres. Hamish Seaton of Mountain Biking Otago is the event's timekeeper, making sure each of the competitors' times are counted every time they cross a central point.
We've got little timing tags on their numbers, and when they come past the finish line, the computer will pick them up and just put a split time against them, and then we can work out the results from that.
Dunedin man Glenn Sutton was the second to complete the 200-mile distance, clocking up just under 50 hours running time.
Oh, look, it's just nice to sit down and take the weight off your feet, sort of thing, and I haven't slept for 49 hours, so yeah, might get a bit of shut-eye.
The annual event is run every August by the Naseby Development Charitable Trust. In Naseby, the South today.
And for those who would rather run a shorter distance, a road race was also being held in the same area. Spanning a mere 10 kilometres in comparison, the Clyde to Alexandra race drew competitors from across the south.
Reaching the finish line after a 10-kilometre run from the Clyde Dam. About 160 people took part in the Clyde to Alexandra road race on Saturday. The annual event is now one of the few races in the country still being run on tar seal.
A lot of people prefer not to run on the road nowadays, but if you want a fast time, then running on the road is so much quicker than off-road. Really.
Regular attendees included a family from Invercargill, with the older members running the full 10 kilometres, while the younger boys were set to run 4 kilometres.
Yeah, it's a good annual trip that we enjoy coming up here to Alexandra for.
Race organiser Bill Godsall says numbers were down this year, with people busy doing other activities over the weekend.
Costs a lot of money and takes a lot of time to put them on, and yeah, we'd like to see a few more people out racing really, but everybody has their Saturdays loaded up so busily now.
Now in its 53rd year, the race is a major fundraiser for the local Harriers and Walkers Club. In Alexandra, the South today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Special rigs for special kids returned to Dunedin roads yesterday after a 3-year COVID hiatus. Blue and red flashing lights turned rainbow as police take part in Queenstown's Pride Week. And ploughmen from across the south headed to Middlemarch over the weekend to tear up some paddocks. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the editor, Barry Stewart. Kia ora, Barry.
Hello, Hannah.
What can we expect in your paper tomorrow?
Well, quite a few things. Of course, Dunedin's Mayor Aaron Hawkins is worried elements of the government's Three Waters reform could make it difficult for councils to operate effectively, so more on that in your paper tomorrow. Countdown is one step closer to introducing body cameras for its staff as a result of various things that have happened in recent times. So interesting move, and they say everybody has a book in them. Yeah. Perhaps not everybody, but that's what the saying goes. How the saying goes. But one Dunedin high school pupil is proving he has more. Kavanagh College pupil Tom Davis, has turned out 3 books in his time at the school already. And they are sitting nicely in the school libraries, so interesting little story there.
Lovely. Oh, we look forward to reading all those stories in the paper tomorrow. Thank you, Barry.
Thank you.
And time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, fine for a few days as northerly airflow slowly develops and temperatures become milder, and then some showers arrive later in the week as the front moves in from the Tasman Sea. Heading to the top of the South Island, it's looking fine through here tomorrow. Light winds and 16 in Nelson, 15 for Greymouth and 14 down in Christchurch with moderate nor'easterlies. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, clear skies all the way through here tomorrow. Ashburton and Timaru are both heading for 15 with easterlies, and further south in Oamaru you'll get 14 degrees. Westwards now to the Central Lakes. Northerlies will be super light tomorrow, just enough to need an extra layer outdoors. Wanaka hits the 17-degree mark, 15 for Queenstown, and smack back in the middle, that's 16 degrees in Alexandra. Heading further south, a spot or two of cloud inland with northwest winds and 15 for Balclutha and Gore. And over in the Catlins, nor'easterlies and 14 degrees. Now down to the deep south, fine and frosty tonight in Invercargill, down to -1. Tomorrow starts off clear with cloud on the way late in the day as the nor'easterlies develop. Wednesday comes with gusty nor'westerlies, cloudy skies and evening rain, heading for 15 degrees both days. And lastly, heading to Dunedin. Fine tonight with a light frost, sending the mercury down to 0. Tomorrow will be fine and sunny to start, then high cloud and northeast winds pick up, the high 14 degrees. Into Wednesday it's looking warmer with breezy northerlies and up to 16 degrees. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite popo.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.